Boy, if you thought the UN was irrelevant, you ain't seen nothing yet. The ICC, the International Criminal Court, has just decided that the leaders of Hamas that brutalized and massacred Jews throughout southern Israel on October 7th are now in the same category as the leaders of Israel who are defending the state of Israel, and arrest warrants are probably coming for the leaders of Israel and the leaders of Hamas. Oh my God, the ICC ought to be disbanded today. Just when you think it couldn't get weirder in international politics, Claire Lopez, the ICC, the International Criminal Court Chief Prosecutor, Karim Khan, revealed that they are now pursuing arrest warrants for the top leaders of Hamas and Israel. Why? Because they're basically the same. Mass murdering, genocidal maniac. I'm not kidding. The leaders of Israel, specifically Netanyahu and Gallant, are to be arrested if they travel to countries that honor the ICC's rules, regulations, and enforcement. And they're put in the same category with the murderous, mass murderous thugs, the Nazi-like group called Hamas. The ICC has fallen to the lowest low of all time.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to say outrageous again. To draw this kind of moral equivalence between, as you say, Barry, the mass murdering jihadist terror organization called Hamas, its leadership, Ismail Haniyeh, Khalid Mashal in Qatar, Abu Marzouk hiding out in the United Emirates. They haven't got it yet, but they're putting in a request for arrest warrants for Yahya Sinwar, Mohammed Daif, the head of the Izzadin al-Qasim brigades inside of Gaza. But to draw the moral equivalence, between these mass murdering, human rights atrocity committing monsters and the democratically elected government of Israel, the Prime Minister, Benjamin Netanyahu, and as you said, the Minister of Defense, Yoav Gallant, is simply unbelievable, unthinkable, outrageous. After all the trouble, all the care that the Israelis, the IDF, the Israeli Defense Forces, have been taking to preserve human life in Gaza, at least civilian non-combatant life in Gaza, providing escape routes out of military operations areas, establishing humanitarian enclaves where people can go to receive food and water, medical care. No army in the history of warfare has ever done those things. And yet, moral equivalence? I don't think so.
Yeah, I might add to that, international experts who are literally scholars on warfare have said in the history of modern warfare, there has never been a ratio as low civilian casualty to combatant casualties as what is being researched and released as far as the real numbers coming out of Gaza. In other words, like you said, Claire, astutely, there's never been an army as just and ethical as the IDF going into Gaza. There are videos all over that you can see. Millions of leaflets coming down from the sky. Hurry up, leave the neighborhood, we're coming. They send out millions of text messages. They make millions of phone calls to every registered number in Gaza. Time to go. We'll clear a path. We'll protect you. There'll be food, water, and shelter to where you're going. And contrary to what people are saying, there's plenty of food and water that's not being distributed, courtesy of the UN screwing things up and Egypt, among others, and the Hamas that are still in place, stealing it and reselling it. And yet, the IDF is a criminal enterprise conducting, as they said, extermination, starvation, and the denial of humanitarian relief, deliberately targeting civilians. That is a lie compounded with a lie compounded with a lie. And yet it looks like the arrest warrants will come, if not immediately, in the near future.
Well, here's one last point on this story, Barry, and that is that neither Israel nor the United States is a party to the Rome Convention document for the International Criminal Court at The Hague. I'm just kind of wondering also, with the new government taking office in the Netherlands, led by, even though he's not going to be prime minister, but led by Geert Wilders, maybe we could work out a deal where these courts, the International Criminal Court, the International Court of Justice at The Hague, maybe they could be encouraged to, decamp and find some other digs, some other place.
Well, Geert Wilders is a huge pro-American, pro-Israel conservative.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not his agenda. One of the first things he said that's going to happen when the new coalition comes into power, which should be any day, they're going to move the embassy to Jerusalem.
Yes, I saw that too.
And good on Geert Wilders.
Absolutely.